I think one of the hardest things a person can experience is loving someone who doesn't love them back. Not because they hurt you, not because they're cruel, not because they did something wrong. Sometimes they simply don't feel the same way. And somehow, that can hurt even more. Because when someone hurts you, you can blame them. When someone lies to you, you can walk away. When someone betrays you, at least you have a reason. But what do you do when someone is innocent? When they're kind, respectful, honest, and they still don't choose you? That's a different kind of pain, a quieter one, the kind that leaves you arguing with reality itself. I remember spending so much time asking questions that had no answers. What am I missing? What could I have done differently? Why wasn't I enough? Questions that seemed logical at the time. But looking back, I realized they were the wrong questions. Because love isn't an equation. It's not a reward for effort. It's not something you earn by caring harder. And that's what makes it so frustrating. You can give your best, your attention, your loyalty, your patience, your heart, and still be unable to create feelings that aren't there. For a long time, I refused to accept that. I convinced myself there was still hope. Not because there was evidence, because hope felt safer than acceptance. Hope allowed me to stay connected to a future that probably wasn't coming. Acceptance required letting go, and letting go felt impossible, especially when nothing dramatic had happened. There was no betrayal, no final argument, no clear ending, just an uncomfortable truth. I wanted something they couldn't give. And part of me kept believing that if I waited long enough, if I loved deeply enough, if I proved myself enough, eventually things would change. But they didn't. And that's when I learned one of the most painful lessons of adulthood. You cannot convince someone to feel what they don't feel. No matter how genuine your intentions are, no matter how much you care, no matter how worthy you are, the heart doesn't negotiate. And realizing that broke something inside me. Not because I lost them, because I lost the future I had imagined with them. That's the part people rarely talk about. When unreturned love ends, you don't just grieve a person. You grieve possibilities. The conversations that never happened. The memories that never existed. The life you quietly built inside your mind. You grieve a story. And stories can be difficult to bury, especially when they felt so real. I think that's why moving on takes longer than people expect. You're not simply detaching from someone. You're detaching from an imagined future. A future that felt emotionally real, even if it never existed physically. And every time you revisit that future in your mind, the attachment survives a little longer. For a while, I blamed myself. I think most people do. It's easier to believe you're flawed than to accept that attraction isn't always logical. We tell ourselves stories. If I were more successful, more attractive, more confident, more interesting, maybe things would have been different. But over time, I began noticing something. The need to explain rejection often comes from the need to control it. If the problem is me, then maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can prevent it from happening again. But sometimes there is no problem. Sometimes two people simply want different things. and that's nobody's fault. The truth is uncomfortable because it's simple. You can be valuable and still not be chosen. You can be lovable and still not be loved by a specific person. You can be enough and still not be right for someone. Those realities are difficult to accept because they challenge the belief that effort guarantees outcomes. But relationships don't work that way. Human emotions don't work that way.
And neither does love. The moment I started understanding that, something changed. Not immediately, not dramatically, but gradually. I stopped asking why they didn't choose me, and started asking why I was waiting for validation from someone who couldn't give it. That question changed everything, because my focus shifted. Instead of chasing someone else's feelings, I started paying attention to my own. Instead of asking whether they loved me, I started asking whether I was loving myself, whether I was respecting my own worth, whether I was holding on to hope because it was healthy, or because I was afraid of letting go. And the answer wasn't comfortable. I realized I wasn't holding on to them anymore. I was holding on to the possibility of them. And possibilities can keep us trapped for years. Because possibilities never completely die. Reality does. Possibilities linger. They whisper. They create what-if scenarios. They convince you that one more chance might change everything. But eventually, you have to choose. Not between them and someone else. Between fantasy and reality. Between waiting and living. Between holding on and moving forward. And maybe that's the final lesson hidden inside unreturned love. Sometimes letting go isn't about giving up on another person. It's about returning to yourself. Returning the energy you've been investing elsewhere. Returning the hope you've attached to someone else's decision. Returning the love you've been offering outward while neglecting your own heart. Because the hardest truth isn't that they didn't love you back. The hardest truth is realizing your life cannot remain paused while waiting for them to. And maybe healing begins the moment you understand that. The moment you stop asking someone else to choose you and finally choose yourself.